Hello everyone, welcome to this video on my channel, and today we'll be predicting match day 5 of the Euro 2024 qualifiers. Let's start with the first game of the European international break, and we have Kazakhstan versus Finland. A win will be important. It gives either side a great chance at qualifying, and maybe even topping the group. Both sides are occupied in the two spots, having been on a good run of form in the last games. Certainly the underdogs, especially Kazakhstan, in terms of qualifying. It looks like a good four-way race. For this game, I get the feeling Kazakhstan are going to have more chances. Finland, they'll have some chances of their own. My senses is this will be a draw. But do I go for 1-1 or 2-2? I think Kazakhstan's defence is good enough to hold off Finland, and Finland have Herendeki in goal, so I will say it'll be a 1-1 draw. Now for Denmark versus San Marino. Don't need to talk about this too much, although goal scoring for Denmark hasn't looked great since they beat Finland. I think I'd just about go 7-0. They've got the current top scorer. I think he'll bag a few goals. I think they'll have wave after wave of attack, and then it's just about can they convert enough goals. It just wouldn't feel right that they win by a smaller margin against San Marino than Finland does. Now Slovenia versus Northern Ireland. Slovenia, the last time they won was against San Marino. They have Northern Ireland, who I thought would have been not necessarily close in the running to get that top two, but I thought they'd hang in a bit more under Michael O'Neill and maybe be the first to drop out. But having lost at home to Kazakhstan, and they also lost at home to Finland, I think they're out of the running. 1-0 or 2-0 Slovenia. I'll just about say 2-0. Just for Group G. And they play the second game of the day away to Lithuania. I'm going for a 2-0 victory. And now Serbia versus Hungary. Serbia so far have started well enough, having won the first two games and they kept a clean sheet. But then they also got a poor result away at Bulgaria. Hungary, since beating Bulgaria 3-0, I think they've been disappointing compared to what I thought. I thought they'd be able to get 7 wins out of 8. Seeing as they've proven they can compete against like Germany, England, France, and they were doing well against Portugal until Portugal scored 3 in the Euros. Of course, they got 4 points against Poland in the qualifiers, and the last 2 games they drew 0-0 to Montenegro and only beat Lithuania by 2 goals. Whether they're going to be my dark horse for the next Euros is looking doubtful. But for this game, I expect Serbia to have more chances. I expect Hungary to step up. They're at least going to take this game more seriously. I say it'll be a 1-1 draw. So there we have it. What does that mean for Group H? For the games I predicted, 4 teams on 10 points. Let's go to Group A. We're going to Group B next. Republic of Ireland, they're away to France. This is a game where I think France will show that they're better. Republic of Ireland, I think, will do all right, but I think France, they're going to be clinical enough. Obviously, I'm recording this before most, if not all, the squads have come out, but France have a lot of options. Mbappe, Thuram, Griezmann, Colomboani, if he still plays, Coleman, maybe Dembele. There's a lot. France have some great players. I'm going to say 3-0. No more, no less France should be winning at least by 2 goals, and I don't think Ireland are bad enough to be steamrolled or anything like that. Now the Netherlands versus Greece, this is one I'm struggling on. Because Netherlands haven't started that well. Well, to be fair, they've had the hardest and the easiest game at the same time. Didn't exactly blow Gibraltar away like they did under Frank de Boer. And the Nations League was not successful. I feel like I'd be more confident in Greece if they could if they were playing as the home team. Although to be fair, they did only lose 1-0 in France. This is a difficult one. Netherlands do have quality, and Frank de Jong's a very good player. I'm going to say 2-0, but it's one I'm not confident about. And then we go to the next group. Let's have a look. It is, I believe we're on Group E next. Yes, Group E, where we go to. We're starting off with Czech Republic versus Albania. Czech Republic, they've had a good start. The 0-0 draw away at Moldova wasn't what we expected, but it turned out to be a better result than another team who went to Moldova had got. We'll get to them later. Albania have done well, having won their last 2. But is this Czech Republic going to be a little bit much? The only Albania player that stands out to me is Broja, who I don't remember when he's last played. Czech Republic have a good team. Souček Soufal, I don't know if Patrick Schick still plays, but I think based on the quality of the opponents, I do think 2-0 is a fair result. And now let's go to Poland versus the Faroe Islands. Santos. Wow, he's had a terrible start. Just look at this last game where they were 2-0 up against Moldova, and then they threw away a 2-goal lead to lose 3-2. That is bad. Santos has to win this game against Faroe Islands. No bones about it. If he doesn't, then he should be sacked. They're at home, though. They did actually win their home game against Albania. I don't expect Faroe Islands to attack much. They themselves have conceded 6 goals in their last 2 games, and they haven't even beaten Moldova. So I think Santos is going to hold out for at least one more game. They've got Lewandowski, they've got Zielinski. I think they've got enough. But I am kind of tempted to give Faroe Islands a go. Can they do it? I'll stick with 3-0. There we have it for the table. We next go to Group A, and we start with Georgia versus Spain. Georgia, they've had an okay start, having drawn against Norway, won away at Cyprus, and then lost to Scotland, which wasn't ideal, but Scotland have been a good home side. Spain, they go into this game having won the Nations League. I'm not fully sold on whether Georgia are going to be... They're going to be like thereabouts, but I'm not fully sure. But I think it can be a fairly close game. I at least think it'll be 1-1. I think Spain have enough quality to make it 2-1, and had a very good performance against Italy in the Nations League, and against Croatia, the players did step up when it mattered. So I'll go 2-1 Spain. And Cyprus versus Scotland. I have a feeling somewhere Cyprus might be picking a result up, but it doesn't look like it will be in this game. And if Scotland can win in Norway, then I think they're definitely good enough to get a win here. I'll say 2-0. And now we look on to the next group, which is Group D, Croatia versus Latvia. This should be a Croatia win. The only thing I think is missing from Croatia is a clinical number 9, or even some very good wingers. Perisic, he might be playing, but whether he still gets a lot of goal contributions, that I'm not sure. There's also Petkovic as well, who plays as a number 9, I think. I feel like Croatia are good enough to have a nice win, but I wouldn't go too high because it's mainly the midfield and the defence that makes them as good as they are. And Latvia, they are a decent pot 5 team, so I think 3-0 is about right. And now let's go to the bigger game, Turkey versus Armenia. Both sides are actually in the top 2 of their group. Turkey are currently top, having won all their games since losing to Croatia. And in fact, 3 wins out of 4. That's excellent. And Armenia, they themselves will be optimistic, having won away at Wales and beat Latvia. There's some momentum. Turkey have home advantage. I mean, generally, they are the better teams. I'll go 2-1. Next, we're going to Group J, and we're going to start off with Bosnia versus Liechtenstein. Bosnia, they've been disappointing, having lost to Luxembourg, and they lost to Slovakia, which isn't too bad, but it's not looked good since they beat Bosnia 3-0. But they're up against Liechtenstein. Am I confident with Bosnia being second? I'm not, but I think 4-0 should be about right. I think that should be enough. Then Luxembourg versus Iceland. It's a game I'm not too sure how it's going to go. Liechtenstein aside, do Iceland really score away? I'll go with a 0-0. Now, Slovakia versus Portugal. Portugal have been excellent so far. You'd imagine if there is going to be one game that they don't win, it would be Slovakia or an improved Bosnia side. Slovakia have definitely picked up some redemption since that disaster Nations League campaign. Portugal, goal scoring wise, they've looked good under Roberto Martinez, plus the depth in attack. My thinking for this game, I'm going to say 2-0. I think the goal scoring helps, but I think Slovakia and the fact they're playing in Bratislava or wherever else it is, they're usually fairly solid defensively. But I am going to go with 2-0. Let's submit that in. Next, we look at Group F, where we've got start with Azerbaijan versus Belgium. Azerbaijan looking like the weakest team in the group. Belgium, they'll be fine here. Considering 3-0, 4-0, I'll give them the edge. I'll give them 4-0. And Estonia versus Sweden. Sweden have to win this game if they have any hope of getting back in the top 2 race. Estonia, to be fair to them, they ran Austria close. Sweden, I imagine, will be more on the offence compared to when they played Belgium and Austria. Did express themselves a bit more or in the second half against Azerbaijan. I think I'll give them a 2-0 win. So then we go to Group C, Ukraine versus England. I think this might be the only game where England won't win here. Maybe Italy at home. As far as the Ukraine versus England game goes, I'm going to say a 1-1. I'm going to say Ukraine get the first goal. England find an equaliser. They have a number of chances, but doesn't quite go England's way. I mean, maybe something similar to when England got that draw at Poland in the World Cup qualifiers, albeit England took the lead and conceded a goal in added time. And, North Macedonia versus Italy. Spalletti is the new manager of Italy as Roberto Mancini leaves. He won the title in Napoli, so I expect him to do well with Italy. For this game, I think the Italians have the advantage here. When I look at North Macedonia, it's not been good in this campaign. Their win was a 2-1 victory against Malta, and since then they were winning 2-0 against Ukraine and then ended up losing 3-2, and they lost 7-0 to England. Based on the teams, I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Italy. I think they do have the attack to get a 2-0 win, something like that. And next we go to Group I, the last group in fact. We look at Andorra vs Belarus. Two teams, they're not going to qualify. 1-1, 0-0, something like that. Andorra, to be fair, have been scoring against Kosovo and Switzerland, Israel as well. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. And then Romania vs Israel, both sides, they're behind Switzerland in the table. Israel did have a bad start, but they're picking up. Romania drawing away at Switzerland was impressive. And they are home here, so I'll give them the edge here, 2-1. And Kosovo vs Switzerland. Kosovo, they haven't showed anything yet. Draws, that's about it. Drawing at home to Andorra, losing away to Belarus. You can't be doing that if you want to qualify. Fallen off since England played them in the last Euro qualifiers. My prediction, with 3-0. So there we have it. They're my predictions. What do you think? Let me know. And what game in the Euro qualifiers from this match day are you looking forward to the most? These have been my predictions, and see you in the next video.